Welcome. This video is prompted by the recent tragic stampede incidents in the pre-dawn hours of 29 January during the ongoing 2025 Maha Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Viral images of heaps of abandoned footwear, clothes, and bags being cleared away by JCBs, the desperate faces of people frantically searching for missing relatives, and the heart-wrenching accounts of crowd crushes from eyewitnesses. These are bound to raise immediate questions in anyone's mind. How did it happen? And why did it happen? Let's go beyond the usual explanations we hear in such incidents, such as overcrowding, poor crowd management, or conspiracy theories. Instead, let's take a deeper look at some important aspects concerning Kumbh Mela festivals. To make it easier to understand, we'll divide this video into 3 segments. In segment 1, we will take a brief look at what happened on the tragic night of 29 January in Prayagraj. In segment 2, we will explore the origins and evolution of Kumbh over time. And in segment 3, we will try to have a deeper understanding of the metaphors associated with this festival. This could lead to a paradigm shift in our belief systems. So, stay with us until the end. A long-held belief among Hindus is that the waters of the river, where the Kumbh Mela is held, are charged with spiritual power that is capable of washing away sins or negative karma. Hence, vast numbers of devotees take ritualistic dips whenever this festival is held in one of the 4 locations: Triveni Sangam in Prayagraj, or the former Prayag, River Ganga in Haridwar, River Kshipra in Ujjain, and River Godavari in Nashik, or the former Trimbak, in India. The ongoing Maha Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj is especially significant because it marks the completion of 12 cycles of 12 Kumbh Melas at this location, which means it is being observed after 144 years. This makes it a once-in-a-lifetime event for every living devotee at present. In other words, anyone who misses this year's festival will not have another chance to participate in a Maha Kumbh Mela at Prayagraj. Now, let's go back to 28th January, the day before Mauni Amavasya, a new moon day in the Hindu month of Magh. For devotees, this was one of the most auspicious days to take a holy dip at Triveni Sangam, where 3 sacred rivers, the Ganga, Yamuna, and the invisible Saraswati, meet in Prayagraj. To make use of this sacred occasion, an enormous number of devotees arrived in Prayagraj on 28th January, overcrowding the temporary township spread over 4,000 hectares, specially set up for this Maha Kumbh. Despite 1.5 million tents erected for accommodations, countless devotees were left sleeping in the open, braving the bone-chilling cold in the Ghat area. They were waiting for Brahma Muhurt, the 96-minute window before sunrise, which is believed to be the most spiritually beneficial time for taking a holy dip. However, tragedy struck between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., well before Brahma Muhurt, after a few barricades were broken. The sleeping devotees in the open were caught under the trampling feet of surging crowds. Later, the administration admitted that many of the victims, who lost their lives or suffered injuries, were these sleeping devotees. Apart from this, by halfway through the festival period, there had already been a few incidents of fire that destroyed some tents in the township, as well as a record-breaking traffic jam on all roads leading to Prayagraj, forcing devotees to spend up to 10 hours stranded in their vehicles. By the way, this is not the first time a stampede has occurred during a Kumbh Mela. The first documented incident took place 2 centuries ago, in 1820, under British rule, when over 400 devotees were reportedly crushed to death in Haridwar. And still, the phenomenon continues. Devotees seeking to wash off their sins and attain moksha or salvation through a holy dip, only to meet tragic deaths for some. This raises an important question. Why do people continue to gather in such large numbers, despite the risks? To understand this, we need to look at the mythological origins of Kumbh Mela and the human quest for immortality as outlined in the legend of Samudra Manthan. Samudra Manthan appears in the Mahabharata and several Puranas with slight variations. The legend goes like this. Once, Indra, the king of gods, was riding his mount, Airavat, a celestial elephant, when he crossed paths with Durvas, a highly accomplished but famously short-tempered sage. Durvas was carrying a garland of fragrant flowers, a gift from a devotee, and he offered it to Indra. However, Indra carelessly tossed it over Airavata's tusks. This act of Indra left the sage deeply offended. He flew into a pit of rage. Durvas believed that the gods had become arrogant due to their immortality, hence they should be taught a lesson. He cursed them to lose all their divine powers. As the curse came into effect immediately, the gods became vulnerable to attacks from demons. Fearing for their survival, the gods approached Lord Vishnu and sought help. Vishnu advised them that they could regain their lost powers by drinking Amrit, the nectar of immortality, which could be obtained by churning the Kshirosagar, a cosmic ocean. To churn this infinitely expansive ocean, the gods chose Mount Mandar as the churning rod. Then Vasuki, the king of serpents, called around the mountain as the churning rope. Given the enormity of the task, the gods sought the help of demons as well, promising them a share in Amrit. The churning went on for 1,000 years, producing many things along the way, starting with a poison called halahal. Finally, when the nectar-filled pot, or kumbh, emerged, the demons, in their greed, ran away with it. The gods chased them, and in the struggle, 4 drops of Amrit fell on earth, at Prayagraj, Haridwar, Ujjain, and Nashik, making the rivers at these locations divinely sacred. But here's the catch. This part of the story does not appear in the original scriptures, either in Mahabharata or other Puranas. Scholars believe that the connection between the Samudra Manthan legend and Kumbh Mela was a later addition, possibly introduced to strengthen Hindu unity during foreign invasions. However, ritualistic bathing at Prayagraj must be an age-old tradition, dating back to the Vedic time, as sacred bathing in Prayag is mentioned in Rigveda. Even in the Mahabharata, it is said the Pandavas took a ritual dip at Prayag while in exile. Now, coming to the modern era, Kumbh Mela festivals are increasingly streamlined and structured, and held regularly in all the 4 places. And interest in these events has been steadily growing among people both in India and outside, transforming these places into oceans of humanity and making them largest religious human congregations whenever they are held. At the heart of the eagerness for holy dips in sacred rivers is an unwavering faith inscribed in the hearts of people, inherited from ancestors who had believed that the Puranas were chronicles of real events. But scholars differ. Scholars maintain Hindu mythology was created to convey the deep spiritual messages of the Vedas in an engaging way, using metaphors. Then, what are these messages? Well, they are summed up in 4 Mahavakyas, or great sayings. They are Prajnanam Brahma, meaning, consciousness is Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, meaning, I am Brahman. Tatvam Asi, meaning, you are that. And I am Atma Brahma, meaning, this self is Brahman. Then, what is Brahman? Brahman is the supreme, universal spirit that is eternal and unchanging. And every individual can discover this spirit within himself or herself. The Samudra Manthan legend shows the way to do so through powerful metaphors. So, let us understand the metaphors first. The ocean represents the mind. Churning symbolized the inner struggle between divine wisdom and ignorance within an individual. Amrit represents enlightenment, the nectar of consciousness, attainable only when the struggle ceases. The kumbh or pot represents the body that contains Amrit. And rivers symbolize knowledge, constantly flowing and evolving, unlike stagnant dogmatic beliefs. The legend suggests we can discover the immortal side of us by turning inward. Initially, we may encounter the darker side of us. But as the inner churning continues, true purification is bound to happen. Then, the urge to join massive crowds for external rituals could reduce. I hope you found this video inspiring to take an inner journey. If you are not on board yet, let me know in the comments below. Thank you.